Welcome to the Swimming from Home talk show. I'm here with Jason Calanog. How are you doing today? What's your day-to-day been like lately?
Howdy, Coleman. Thank you for having me on this podcast show, whatever home network it is. Yeah, it's been definitely a different challenge than, most years. Obviously not coaching right now, but I find it a great challenge for me because it gives me a big opportunity to, hang out with my family and be the father that I've always wanted to be. I think that was the biggest key that I'm able to be there for my sons and my wife a lot more than, being gone for SECs, NCAAs, all the Olympic meets coming up. So it's been a good change of pace for me. It's something I honestly, I truly needed just to keep myself grounded.
Yeah. What was so I guess let's back up just a little bit. You guys had SECs. What were your thought on how the A&M men performed at SECs?
Yeah. I mean, overall, I thought we did pretty well. I mean, I think, obviously getting second's a blessing. Obviously we wanted to win and, we gave our chance, a good fighting chance against Florida, and we held off Georgia and Tennessee and a couple of other schools. So overall, I thought we did well. As a team, I would say 1/3 of our team wasn't fully rested or anything like that because they were obviously gearing up for NCAA. So they were still lifting and things like that. So it would have been nice to see what they could really do. But I mean, overall, they fought hard. And then, the middle tier and the lower tier, they did the best that they could. And they really stepped up in a big way. So overall, I thought we did really, really well. We broke some school records and things like that. And we moved up in the rankings. Last year we were in fourth. So this was a good stepping stone for us.
Yeah. And then moving forward, the next couple weeks, obviously there were, things changing day to day, hour to hour. What was that like on your end?
I mean, obviously, the biggest thing that we told our guys is take it day by day. And, we're going to continue to press on the best way we can and preparing for NCAAs, knowing that there was a possibility that, they could take it away from us. And, that was definitely a hard conversation with our team just because, I truly believe we had a chance to be in the top 5 at NCAA. So it's like the first time we've ever been, that high, placing. So that was like a big bit of a bummer. But also, I think this whole pandemic and this the way everything's going is, taught us a lot about ourselves and how we're dealing with, these defining moments that are happening to everyone in the world at the same time.
Yeah. So how long have the guys kind of been, how long have you been out of the pool?
Basically around March, we went to kind of ironically, we went during our spring break around March 15, March 16 date. We went as a team bonding trip. We actually went to the Houston Rockets game down in Houston. So right after that, it was a Tuesday night. The next day, basically, everything started to shut down with the whole SEC and everything going on. So basically, we've been out a good 2.5 weeks as a team. And then some of our post grads, they were continuing on swimming at one of our old former swimmers' backyards. He has his own 25-yard pool. So they were training there for a couple of days. And then finally, when as a staff, the men and women, we kind of told our, teams that it's probably best that we all just lay low and shelter in place as a team, and sending that message that, this pandemic and what we want to do for this country and this world was more important than, swimming. So we gave up a lot, but it's definitely well worth it for helping our cause.
Yeah. So did you send a lot of your athletes to their hometowns, or are they still in College Station?
I would say it's about 75% of them went home. About a quarter of them stayed here because some of them are foreign and some of the countries were closed, or it's very difficult to maneuver everything. And then some of the guys, one of our guys, his mom is a nurse, and she told him not to come home just because she didn't, if she got the coronavirus, she wanted to make sure that her family didn't get it. So he's actually here still in College Station. So it really depended. We were going to support them either way, and our athletic department was going to support them either way. We just wanted to make sure we're giving the best possible situation for each person.
Yeah. And so what has your day-to-day as a coach, how has your role as a coach changed, especially in these last couple of weeks?
I mean, obviously, we can't recruit right now, like, so go anywhere. So that's kind of been different. So, we try to keep in touch with the recruits, the best way we can, whether, we're FaceTiming them or we're, texting them or calling them. But
Mhm.
overall, I think the biggest key for us is, safety for everybody else. So, I haven't been trying to bombard all the recruits super, hard and trying to push the issue of a lot of things just because, it's important they spend time with their family. It's important a lot of them are taking classes now online for the first time. So just letting them acclimate to that. Even the same thing with our own guys, it's just like we've been trying to touch base with them, but not push them to a place where swimming and sports is the most top thing in their lives right now.
Yeah, certainly. Um, are you able to still coach at all in any capacity?
No, currently with the SEC, we're not allowed to coach till April 15th, with the team
Okay.
itself. And then the post grads, we just told them, you're on your own for right now, just because, we wanted to make sure everyone tried to stay at home and making
Hmm.
sure that we did our part. So we're not really giving them practices. If they do lift on their own or, do any kind of exercise on their own, that's really on their own risk. And, we try to give them as much information as we can,
Hmm.
but obviously they're adults and we can't control them.
Yeah. Yeah. And so what has your day-to-days at home looked like now?
It's a lot different. I tell myself that being a stay-at-home dad was my dream job, but
Hmm.
now I realize it's a lot of hard work. I got to help my son with fourth grade. I'm not a great fourth grade teacher.
Yeah.
I wasn't the greatest student in the world, so me having to relearn all the science and social studies, the history of Texas. I have no idea what's going on, so trying to learn all that kind of stuff. And
Yeah.
then obviously I've been cooking a lot. I've been that was one of my passions, kind of when I was in college and and transitioning into the world. So that's
Mhm.
something I started to do every single day. At least try to make one meal or two meals a day on my own from scratch, and just try to do what Santo Condarelli's doing online all the time, is trying to cook. So I've been trying to get my cook on, and then honestly I've been trying to lift weights, hold my butt. Before all this pandemic stuff started, I was like, I have a feeling I'm gonna be stuck at home. So I went to the you know one of the sports shops here, and I bought some weights and set up my son's room into my weight room. So that's something I can do just to keep busy and keep moving on. But honestly, just it's a blessing for me. I tell myself it's like I'm trying to do a lot of the things that when I was 9, 10, 11, 12 that I like doing, that I kind of
Mhm.
transitioned out of because I was into sports and swimming and soccer and other things. So I try to I started trying to play piano again. I've been working on my golf swing again. So just like simple stuff that I used to love doing. Now it's kind of taken that forefront and like learning how to love different things and new hobbies for myself. So it's been a lot of fun.
Yeah, certainly. And so do you see that as applicable at all to coaching when you do get back?
Well, of course. I mean, I think honestly, first thing is just teaching my son. I think every parent or coach tells you it's hard to teach something to your son and daughter when you're a coach because you want to be very hands-on and you want to see results. So for me, it's been taking a step back and relearning things and trying to find new ways for my son to learn. So that's been a great challenge, and I think that's helping me for the future. And then also just relearning things myself. It's been a lot. It's been challenging my mind in a different way because everything's been for the past 15 years about swimming,
Yeah.
and now it's like learning a new skill that I'm not very good at. I'm trying to get back to a single digit handicap in golf again. So like things that I love to do, I'm just trying to relearn and retest my mind and challenge it and try different things. Cause I don't know if I'll ever get like time like this again where I have so much free time to learn new things. So this is the perfect exact time for me.
Yeah. Does this make you um, reassess how you might want to move forward, I guess, after this pandemic?
Yeah. I mean, I'm just obviously, taking it day by day. I
Mhm.
think, I'm learning new things every single day. So it's definitely helping me. It's definitely helping me be a better coach where I'm just trying to reevaluate a lot of things in my life. A lot of coaches, especially, you know, when they get into swimming, they get into swimming and then their family life and a lot of personal things, takes a backside, whether it's their health or, their relationships with their wives or girlfriends or their kids. So for me, this is definitely a great stepping stone to reevaluate a lot of things that I've taken for granted for so many years. So to me, this has been a blessing in disguise.
Yeah. Have you thought about things um, that you'll take with you when, like, I guess once you start coaching again, have you thought about different ways you might go about the swimming aspect of it?
Well, yeah. I mean, obviously, just this whole like Zoom things that we're doing, all these, virtual meetings. It's kind of,
Yeah.
I'm just learning a lot, not having face-to-face contact or, physical contact with people. So it's been definitely a different challenge, and I'm learning new things. Learning to recruit, online, and, having to paint a picture without physically showing them things. So that's been definitely different. I'm just learning a lot with that. And honestly, just, I'm just enjoying this new process because it's a new challenge. I think every year in swimming, everything's the same. Everything's over and over again, swim meets, blah, 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 blah. I'm like thinking, all right, maybe my first swim meet's going to be in Indianapolis in August. I don't know. And that'll be our first meet, and it's our championship meet. So how are we going to reassess those things? Or going into the new season, how are we going to reassess, it's going to be an Olympic year again. And, it's a new 4-year cycle. Now it's a 5th year. So like those are simple things that are in the back of my mind, but they haven't been my forefront because I'm trying this new avenue of thinking and my family and everything, my hobbies that I used to do. Those things are currently most important to me right now. And then slowly the whole swimming and aspect of coaching again will slowly, week by week, slowly, move in the forefront.
Yeah. Um, have I mean, I know you said this is at the back of your mind now, but having that kind of 5th Olympic year, as you
Yep.
said,
Mm-hmm.
how do you see that affecting athletes? Because a lot of them that I've talked to have said, you put so much focus and so much drive into being perfect during an Olympic year
Uh-huh.
that's a really hard task to duplicate
Yep.
another year in a row.
Yeah.
How do you see that moving forward for athletes and for coaches?
Yeah, I mean, I think everyone's different. The college team is a little bit easier because they have another year to look forward to the college season.
Mm-hmm.
I think the post grads it's a little bit different because a lot of them postpone their life.
Mm-hmm.
Whether they're going to grad school or getting a job or things like that. So to me, my goal was not to pressure them right away.
Yeah.
I think it's most important that they take time for themselves, take time for their family to understand what they really want out of the sport of swimming, because I think swimming is obviously a very tough sport. Obviously you just look at the black line over and over again, and you have a lot of thoughts in your brain. So the whole mental health side of things is a huge component. So honestly, for them, I wanted to make sure they just take time for themselves and to really evaluate why they swim and why they really want to do this, or if they don't want to do this, and that's okay. I think for me, when I was a younger coach, I'd be pushing them more to shoot for the 5th Olympics, all this kind of, all those type of things. But
Yeah.
as I'm growing older in age, I'm not that old, but I'm still getting older, and I'm just, I think looking at the whole aspect of things, I think family and, understanding why you do things is more important. So I think for them, it's just taking their time and, whether it's 2 weeks, 1 month, 3 months, really evaluate what's going on in their lives. And then we move forward from there. Same thing with coaching. It's just the same way I would look at it too.
Yeah. How do you see, speaking of time out of the water,
Yep.
how do we don't know, like you said, it's day by day. We don't know how long it'll be until the swimming community as a whole gets to go back into a pool.
Yeah.
How do you see that affecting athletes once they actually get back in and start swimming?
I think for us as a team, we had the perfect example this year. We have a post-grad training with us. His name's Brett Pinfold.
Mm-hmm.
He graduated, 3 years ago, I think, from Wisconsin, and he's
Mm-hmm.
from the Houston area. And so for the past 2 years, he was been working a full-time job, no swimming, retired, blah, blah, blah. And then he got the itch, about a year ago. And then, he's been training on his own for a couple weeks. And then he, called me up and was interested in, joining our post-grad group, and we evaluated him and everything. And obviously he didn't swim for 2 years.
Mhm.
And then within, honestly, the first couple of months, I was like, oh man, this is going to be a rough, thing to get back into, because he's trying to make Olympic trials, he's trying to make semifinals, and then who knows from there.
Mhm.
So that was awfully difficult at first, but then, come December, he went to nationals. He started to get close to Olympic trials, but just missing it. It's like, oh, wow. So I kept on thinking, man, this guy has a chance. And then he went to, sectionals here in College Station in February. He made he made 2 Olympic trial cuts. So that was like, wow, he's improved so much so quickly. And then he went to the Des Moines, Iowa meet the week after. And then he goes like 49.6 and he misses his best time by 2 100s. So he's in the 8 final to beat my old swimmer Caleb, and he beat Nathan Adrian. And I was like, wow, anything is possible. You don't owe, your body will find its way. And if you're determined, your body will find its way. And to me, that was a story that made me believe that we can get through this, even being away from the pool.
I mean, do you think that not only, you can get through that, but do you think this could, um, bring positives for athletes
Oh,
being
for
out of the
sure.
water this long?
I think if, they use this time as a positive, I definitely think it's definitely a positive, because right, makes you reevaluate a lot of things, not just in your swimming. You could, you have time, you could watch your swim technique, which a lot of people don't do,
Mhm.
watch their old races. So I think, that's something that we've challenged our swimmers to watch your old races even more, to see what you need to do to get better. And then when you do get better, try to do that over and over again. I had a swimmer, he has his own backyard pool, and he's been tethered to the rope and just swimming over and over again. But it's making him realize a lot of the mistakes that he's making, crossing over the center line. He sees these more because he's only focusing on one thing. So I think overall, I think we can definitely get better through this. There's definitely going to take time and new ways to do things, but for sure, everyone can find a way to get a little bit better.
Nice. Well, any closing thoughts you've got, Jason?
I mean, overall, I think for me, I'm trying to use this time also to be a mentor in any way I can, especially to young coaches. I think I challenge all the young coaches, or even the older coaches, to reach out to some of these other coaches to share ideas. I've been trying to go in some Zoom meetings and other FaceTime meetings with other coaches to learn. I think this is the perfect time for coaches to learn new things, not just for club teams, but college teams and everyone. I think it's a time where we can share and be one unit and be part of that swimming family. So overall, I think I challenge coaches to share ideas, whether it's in the pool, out of the pool, community service wise, ideas that we could use together to, get through all of this.
Yeah. Okay. One last question.
Yep.
Has there been any ideas that you've heard that have stuck out to you as like really cool?
Um, I think, yeah, I mean, obviously yesterday I was listening to Swimmer Joe's podcast type thing yesterday. And, he had a couple of coaches, and I was just interesting to see how they're dealing with the club level, and how they're
Mhm.
dealing with, the payments and how to survive and things like that. But also the different ideas for coaches to do on Zoom meetings, whether they challenge them to, watch a certain video that week and they can talk about it. Um, you know, Create new traditions for college teams or club teams, or, one of the other things, one of another coach that I was thinking, she's trying to share cooking recipes for their club kids to do, or their college kids to do, so it's a great way to share new ideas where I didn't really think about those things. And now people are starting to think outside the box, and a great thing to do.
Awesome. Well, hey, thanks so much for your time, Jason. I really appreciate it.
Thank you, Coleman. Thank you for having me, and hopefully we'll see you soon.